Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has spoken out about the release of Chris Hani's killer Janusz Walus on parole. Lesufi was speaking during a surprise oversight visit to Tembisa Hospital. Mohlaoli is there. Tumaole, good to speak to you. Reaction certainly from Panyaza Lesufi. What did he have to say?
Well, Hugo, I can tell you that the mood in which he phrased his statement was something that is very uncharacteristic of Panyaza Lesufi, the Gauteng Premier. You could tell that the news of the release of Janusz Walus on parole has really affected him, and it was reflected in the tone with which he responded and the choice of words that he decided to use to express his dismay. And let's just take a listen. I think he will be the best one to detail exactly how he feels about news of Walus's release.
It's a sad day. Those that know who Chris Hani was and those that know what Chris Hani's role was in being where we are today will know that that murderer doesn't deserve to be out of prison. But if a decision is taken by the court, we'll respect that. The minister tried, to be quite frank, is the one that took the matter to court, and that decision was overtaken by the Constitutional Court. And we had a session, I personally had a session with the minister on the front line of our National Executive Committee meeting, and he took us in detail the preparation for the release. So we are not surprised. The minister briefed us. But obviously disappointed, hugely disappointed.
Tommy, so obviously this decision for release of Janusz Walus interrogated by the ANC, certainly seemingly at the highest level.
Well, certainly there, Hugo, and this is something that will also find its way in terms of discourse, general public discourse in the streets of Tembisa, where I am now at Tembisa Hospital, where, of course, Panyaza Lesufi, the Gauteng Premier, had his oversight visit, and in other areas. But one also can just cast a thought to what must be going through the late Chris Hani's widow's mind, that is Mpho Hani. She had expressed earlier her own reservations and bitter disappointment, even, wrath at the fact that this man who cut her husband's life short so brutally in Dawn Park out on the east end of Johannesburg all those years ago is now going to effectively walk free. Now, the Justice Department also is saying that they will continue to follow their processes, which would include, of course, the normal parole processes, which means Walus would have to report to either a parole officer that he is assigned to or a police station at several intervals to ensure that he is abiding by the rules, and he will be under strict supervision. But that is scant consolation to many South Africans, and even those who are here at the hospital who are walking past, you could hear them talking about this particular issue, and many were exclaiming that they can't believe that it's come to this. So news of Walus's release certainly in many respects being met with a lot of disdain and a lot of disbelief. However, like Justice Minister Ronald Lamola said, South Africa is a constitutional democracy, so the laws of the land which govern how the constitutional and judicial and, of course, punitive processes go have to be abided to, regardless of who they are applied to.
Well, Panyaza Lesufi was speaking on the sidelines of that oversight visit to Tembisa Hospital. Just bring us up to speed with what came from that visit, if you will.
Well, certainly what came from the visit was Panyaza Lesufi saying that he feels encouraged by the fact that during his brief oversight visit here, he noted that security has been beefed up. We know that, of course, Tembisa Hospital has been the site of very terrible attacks where people have been attacked and many seriously injured and killed here at Tembisa Hospital. And he says that the measures put in place and the engagements that he's had with the management at this particular facility have left him feeling a little bit more encouraged about the turnaround strategy to try and secure this facility. However, there are still some serious challenges when it comes to fully locking down such a facility is something that the Premier noted, because it is a public facility. So while of course, management is conscious of protecting and securing the hospital, they also have to ensure that those who need access to the healthcare here, whether it's primary or more specialized healthcare, can access the hospital, and you don't want to restrict them, because this is the whole point of this facility being here. So what Lesufi is saying is that they will continue to work closely, especially also with law enforcement agencies, to ensure that police visibility is something that is increased and improved on the outside perimeters of this particular facility.
Tumaole and Mohlaoli, very quickly, you also had a chance to engage with the Health MSc on some of the issues that are causing challenges, certainly in Gauteng, around the health environment. Any comments that she made there?
Well, there were some very interesting comments, particularly highlighting some of the so-called problematic hospitals. Of course, we know that not far from here in Kempton Park, that particular hospital has been shut down. It was an aging facility. The infrastructure was not up to scratch. So the provincial health department had to effectively write it off and shut it down. We're told that plans are in place to refurbish it or start it from the ground up. There are other facilities in similar condition, worn down and worn out. That would also include to the far west rand of Gauteng province. And what the MEC was saying is that the provincial government does have the funds in budget to try and ensure that these facilities are spruced up, or that the relevant upgrades are made as a matter of urgency. So Treasury has already made those budgetary submissions, and the province is certainly ready to use those. As far as the issue of human resources, staffing, which has been a key challenge here in Gauteng, as well as other parts of the country. We do know that, of course, the brain drain of the exodus of healthcare professionals, including nurses as well as doctors, because of the provincial government's financial constraint when it comes to the health department and its budgets, inability to pay for overtime, etc. While, of course, COVID-19 has taken its toll on the workload that these individuals face. What has been said by the MEC is that there's a new wave coming in from the various institutions of higher learning that focus on the health sector specifically. So certainly the new wave will ease the pressure a bit. However, the fiscus itself, in terms of the provincial budget, will also ensure that they are able to attract and, more importantly, retain those that they employ.
Tumaole and Mohlaoli coming to us from Tembisa Hospital. Appreciate your time this afternoon.